Welcome to another episode of Hello Again Wednesday with Brent Miller. Each Wednesday join in as his special guest. Answer the question of the day. Listen to life stories. Follow him on Spotify or your favorite podcast platform. On Facebook or his YouTube channel, Brent Miller What's on His Mind.
This week's episode 141. Love, Money, and USA. Question of the day. What sport do you consider yourself an absolute fan?
And now,
it is Hello Again Wednesday, episode number 141. Thanks for joining me as my special guest. I do believe it's going to be a short episode today, about 15 minutes, so hang on to your seats for a few moments. Thank you for being a part of it week after week. If you are, especially if you're brand new, welcome to this episode and the many episodes you can watch on Hello Again Wednesdays. I always consider you my special guest, and anytime, I say this over and over, if you'd like to really be a special guest face-to-face or slide side-to-side on video with me, we can make that happen as we go through all these episodes. Last week's episode, if I may recap real quick, was episode 140, and it was called I'm Out of Control, and it was just about some snacks, and I had found these Ruffles, they were Ruffles lime and jalapeno chips, and I really enjoyed them a whole lot. They are really good. They got a nice kick to it. In fact, just the other day I was laughing with Boomer, and I inhaled, and some of that jalapeno dust went up my nose, and I'll tell you what, oh my goodness, it was a sneeze session for just a moment there, but I really liked it. And so I just wanted to, as I'm recapping on that episode, just want to thank you, because there's some people that commented, and I know one of the comments was Cheetos. Cheetos was a huge favorite snack that you just keep eating. I can just imagine orange lips and orange fingers. If you're a Cheeto eater, you know what I'm talking about. And so, just thanks for watching that episode. And hey, you can always watch it and chime in on the comments with it. Always looking to see what you guys are doing. Question of the day is dealing with sports. Okay. What sport do you consider yourself an absolute fan? And there's some diehards. I know people that put the paint on their faces, and in the Midwest in football season, they go shirtless, even though it's bitter cold out. Diehard Bear fans, diehard Packer fans. The rest are probably in the stadiums. I'm not quite sure. I know those two are outside in the bitter cold. And so you got some diehards. Right now we're in baseball season. I've seen a lot of my friends that are St. Louis Cardinal fans enjoying some games and stuff like that. They are diehard Cardinal fans, and it's good to talk with people. I try to keep up on what their teams are doing sometimes, to just be aware. Pastor Mark here at the church, he is an Angels fan, and even though he's a diehard Angels fan, has season tickets and stuff like that, great seats, and just loves the game and loves the Angels. We also have within the church Dodger fans, of course, out here in LA. And some diehard Dodger fans. In fact, this gentleman I was speaking to on Sunday morning was that he was really happy because the Dodgers had actually swept I think it was the A's, Oakland A's. And so, he was really excited about it and enjoying the conversation. We're talking about, hanging out together and watching a game with whoever wants to do that. And then he's actually asking if we can watch some Christian movies and stuff together. So it's just some things that are happening where my sport fans are wanting to do some other things, but they are diehard sport fans. I'm not probably a diehard sport fan, but I do love the Bears. I would go Cubs more than White Sox. But then again, I always liked the Brewers up in Milwaukee. I Pujols was down in McGuire those years. That was okay because there's some big home run sessions going on. Sammy Sosa in the Cubs and stuff, and so I enjoyed stuff like that. But more than likely, I'm one of those that just kind of check on things, try to be aware of what's going on, and enjoy it that way. That's the kind of sports fan. I'm probably not an absolute fan, or I do like hockey. I am a Blackhawks fan, and I do love playing it on. Well, I actually enjoy playing all three on PlayStation, and that would be baseball, football, and hockey. Just enjoy playing it. I don't know if that makes me an absolute fan, but I do enjoy doing that. Now, on a not so lighter side, but a more difficult side, these past couple of weeks have had some difficulties in the arena of soccer. And I know a lot of it's controversial with especially the women's league and some of their issues. And, hey, I'll say this. I do agree that in equal pay, if you're playing equal pay, I'm for that. I'm not for, I'm not for women in guys sports, and I'm not for guys in women's sports. It is, especially the guys in women's sports, it is, this is my opinion. The swimming issue that came up, I think the guy was a jerk. I think that he was a big loser in the men's league, and so he decided to go to the women's league and dominate the field tremendously. And the sad thing is, I just saw this conversation in an interview that one of the great world-class swimmers in the women's league was bumped. She made the number 17 instead of the Sweet 16. And the Sweet 16, you get to do more and more stuff. And so she was bumped from world-class competition because of a guy. And so I totally disagree with that. And go ahead, state your opinions. This can be an opinion page right here for a moment. And let me know what you think. Maybe you are for men in women's leagues and stuff like that. I'm not. And then there's some, the women's league in soccer, in my opinion, they were more dominated by politics and world events rather than soccer. And to tell the truth, toward this, the last game that they were to come up to play, I could care less if they won. Actually, and I was a little bit on the mean side. I'm going to be honest, on the mean side. I hope they lose. They're so focused on all this other stuff rather than playing soccer for the soccer fans. And guess what? They lost. It didn't hurt me anyway. I did see the number one soccer player was devastated, and she missed a penalty shot. And that cost the game. I understand that. Maybe she get her head into soccer rather than current events. And so that's just my opinion. You guys can chime in anytime you want. I was kind of on the angry side of it, maybe, because I do know that there are some things. I'm very patriotic. And so if you play on a U.S. team and you refuse to be patriotic to the country that has you on their team, my opinions boot you off. Just that simple. And I can say this with confidence. In the real world of business, if you speak badly of the company you are working for, more than likely in your human resources handbook, it says you're not allowed to, and you can be terminated for doing that. And I know through the past years, people have been terminated for already things they put on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now, or things that they put on MySpace back then, or what they put on Facebook. And because of what they said, got them fired because they badmouthed their place of business. And if it's in the handbook that you cannot, well, then you have no leg to stand on. If it doesn't appear in the handbook, then yeah, you got an argument on your hands. I will back you that way. But I would have to really look at it. Now, and I'm going to go a little deeper with this. Have you ever seen, speaking of my friend who's an Angels fan, have you ever seen the movie Angels in the Outfield? And so I know that they were complaining about all the penalty shots they missed. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to joke about it. Maybe the U.S. Women's soccer team lost because Angels guided their penalty kicks away from the goal. God bless the USA. That's my opinion. And so I chuckle at myself with it. It's one of those things that I laugh at myself. Now, to get off of that subject, because here I am where I am a soccer fan, and I've never really been a soccer fan, but my grandsons have picked it up and really wanted to go out for soccer this year. One's in Illinois. I don't think he was able to play, but the other one was here and he played. And guess what? Today, I'm actually going to miss it because I have Bible study and I'm actually teaching Bible study today. So I'm going to miss the championship game that he's involved in. And they have not lost a game all season. And so it's going to be pretty exciting. I would rather watch that soccer game, okay, with tempers that flare up, with some language that even takes place between kids and parents. And so I bite my lip. I don't agree with that taking place, but it does happen. And I would rather watch that than a disgraceful team against my country. That's me, especially if that other team gets financial gain and by the millions. If they play, they make a lot, they make money. If they don't play, I understand they probably don't make money unless they have these contracts or whatever. But you know what? Hey, I would rather watch a kid's game than someone that disgraces my country. That is me. So, question of the day. Told you it was going to be a short one. Maybe even got your feathers ruffled. I apologize kinda for that. I would love to hear your feedback. I believe everyone has the ability of an opinion as long as we keep it nice and clean. I try to keep mine as clean and not angry as possible. I take pride in my country. Always have. What sport, here's the question of the day, what sport do you consider yourself an absolute fan? Please chime into the discussions. Yeah, that one didn't even have anything to do with the soccers and stuff like that. What are you an absolute fan of? If you're watching, keep watching. Please share with your family and your friends so that they can chime in, and we'll find out more. Maybe some people will go back to that last week's episode and tell me what their favorite snack is too, that they just can't. Remember the Lay's commercial? Yeah, just can't stop eating one or whatever it was. Well, Bible studies at 5:30. I'm actually going on the Pacific Coast out here. I'm actually leading this session in Mark. We're going to be in chapter 9 for the gist of it, but we are going to refresh the end of chapter 8 because it's so important to chapter 9 in the book of Mark. That's where we're going to be at. If you can't make ours down here, that's where I'm at, downstairs in the church. If you can't make our session down here, or why don't you come to our Sunday session, which is Sunday services at 10:45. And we got some things that are up and coming here very quick into September and stuff like that, with some guest musicians and stuff like that. We also have things laid out ahead for Thanksgiving and for Christmas in the neighborhood with a bunch of companies and stuff. So, come on, check us out. Culver City Church of God. If you can't come to our church, check out a church near you. See what they are doing. Be with some friends, laugh together, eat together, maybe even meet some new friends or play a game or two. Who knows what you can be doing out there. I hope you have a great Wednesday. Thanks most of all for being my special guest this week. And you can even hear this on Spotify if you want. Tell others. Remember, give yourself, please give somebody a huge hello again hug or a hello again handshake or whatever. And I will see you next week on Hello Again Wednesday.
Thanks for watching or listening to this week's episode of Hello Again Wednesday with Brent Miller. Each Wednesday, you can join in as his special guest. Answer along with the question of the day. Listen to life stories. Follow him on Spotify or your favorite podcast platform, on Facebook, or his YouTube channel, Brent Miller What's on His Mind. Please join him next Wednesday for another episode.